Once you crack IIT, you don't need to study. Yeah, heard it a lot during our coaching time. What's your take on that? Like,
What I usually do after every semester, I usually have a plot of the one axis is the marks, the y-axis, and the x-axis is the number of classes attended, and they are almost always so well correlated.
Okay. My attendance was nearly 95%, and I have seen in my result that I got a jump. Yeah. What should student prefer more, branch or college?
That's a tough call, because I think choosing a college has
So hey guys, and welcome back again to our channel. My name is Rushi Kale. I am a 4th year undergrad student from IIT Bombay, and today we have one of the best faculty of IIT Bombay, Mr. Professor Ghosh. So sir, can you tell something about yourself?
That's very kind of Rushi to put it that way. I am a faculty member in the Department of Civil Engineering at IIT Bombay, and my specialization and the courses I teach are primarily in the domain of structural engineering, and I'm happy to talk to him and happy to talk to all of you as well.
So in today's video, we are going to talk about how you can choose your branch. If you have just given your JEE Advanced, this video is the best video for you. This video can potentially change your college life. So I request you to just watch complete video, because we have one of the best minds in our country. So let's begin with our first question. What should students consider when they are choosing an engineering branch?
I think a lot of it depends on the passion of the student. I think what JEE preparation mostly, at least it gives you an idea or a hint of, different kinds of topics. Like for example, you can gauge from your early days if you like mechanics, and then it kind of becomes a bit clear that you maybe want to go in mechanical engineering or civil engineering or aerospace engineering and so on. Or maybe you have a knack towards electrical engineering, and then maybe you are, or maybe and these days things like coding and all have become so popular, and I'm sure that many students when they are in their school, they do some coding as well. So if they feel they have a knack for it, then computer science may be a branch, although coding right now you have across all the disciplines. So at least that gives that initial interest, initial desire towards a branch, but later that might change. Some things evolve over time, so you never really know. But I think those are some indicators to at least give you the nudge in the right direction, that what you probably would want to do.
Okay.
Like when we were kids, we used to go to school, and the computer, like going to the computer room was the only room that used to have air conditioning. So you would want to go there. And now that has changed. Now you do some serious coding and everything right from the school days perhaps. So the perspectives have changed, but I think the basic instincts, that whether you like a particular subject, whether you like a particular branch, comes somewhat from what you study in your plus 2, in your JEE, and maybe a few years before that as well.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that might resolve your problem. My next question is like many times what happens is that students have some dream colleges, so they just want to enter that college. For myself, it was IIT Bombay, and my dream was like I just want to enter in IIT Bombay, no matter which branch I will be getting. But fortunately, I got my one of the branch in which I would have interest. It was civil department. So what's your view on that? Like, what should student prefer more, branch or college?
That's a tough call, because I think choosing a college has many different factors. For example, some students might want a college which is near to their home. Some students might want the college which is farthest away from their home. Parents, of course, want the college right at their home, right? But it doesn't happen. So there are different pros and cons to that. But I think if you like a particular topic, if you have a certain angle or certain hint about a topic, then if you go and look up the different colleges, different IITs, and then if you get some hint that maybe this branch is better at a particular, for example, IIT Bombay computer science is top notch, right? So it's a no-brainer that if you are if you really want computer science, if you have a really good rank, then probably you will come to IIT Bombay for your studies. It's a tough call, I think, but I think some of these things play a certain amount of role in deciding which college. And also, Rushi, I think what I would really like to point out is that, for example, when I was a student, I had inkling towards mechanics and so on. I liked it. But then I think if I would have gone into some other branch, I would have done okay as well. So you need not have a very strong passion and inclination towards a branch, because you may end up studying everything which you study for your JEE.
Okay.
Right? So then the floor is open for you
understood.
To which subject, which branch you want to choose from. And for some people it happens that, they once they enter a branch, whether or not it was to their liking, they end up falling in love with that branch. So that also happens, and that might work both ways.
Okay. Again, there's a question like exception versus reality debate after the student joins IIT, and then they realize that they could have done things a lot better if they know some things right from the beginning. So what do you think are the common misconceptions that a UG student has in his
that's a great question. I think the most common misconception is that they come with a very preconceived notion of their branch.
Okay.
And what I have seen in my experience of teaching is that some students with some preconceived notion, they come and then they write, even they have not, say, finished the first year UG courses, as you know, at IIT Bombay and several other institutes, that you do several common courses, right? You study biology, you study electrical engineering, you study mechanics, and you study mathematics, right? So you are literally, you are walking over the shore with different terrains. And right after their first year, with some preconceived notion, maybe, it came from somewhere, they have a nag that I don't want to stay in my branch without having any idea what that branch has to offer, right? And I am very happy to say this, that after taking some of the core courses within that branch, I have seen students make a complete 180-degree turn.
Okay.
Like, they had that notion, they don't want to do it. And we keep reading this in our course reviews as well. Like, so after we deliver a semester worth of lectures, students write their course reviews, and we go back and read the course reviews, and it gives me the greatest joy to at least be able to touch the life of some student in some way, that student feels that, oh, this is really not as bad as people had told me. This is really interesting. And I think a lot of preconceived notion comes from the fact that there are very set mentalities of people of what different branches of engineering are, right? For example, at a point of time, civil engineering was, it's just buildings, bricks, stones, cement, and so on. Whereas civil engineering is so broad. It's so broad, and right now all the branches of engineering has become so interdisciplinary. So even if you are in your branch, suppose you are a civil engineer, but you, for some reason, you always had a knack towards working in biology, suppose, right? Maybe that dream was snatched away when you were somehow put under the social pressure of going into JEE and so on. But there are civil engineers who are working on the realm of biomechanics. Right? So you are applying the concepts of mechanics to that one. Even this semester I was teaching a course on engineering mechanics, and we were talking about prosthetics, right? How we apply, how can idealize a torsional spring as a prosthetic and so on. So the limits, the amount of opportunities are actually endless. So what I would really recommend students is that right after they join, not to have a preconceived notion. Take a few courses, see how it is. See how
they need to explore the
you need to explore. You need to see, things are there for a reason, and it's not like people have been doing it over the years without being completely disinterested in that, right? So there are things that people need to explore without, they need to shed that preconceived notion. What people who and unfortunately a lot of the preconceived notion comes from people who have no idea about the branch, right? So it comes from there, right? And so they need to keep that part aside take their courses and see how they feel like.
Okay.
And if they don't end up liking it, hey, there are a million other opportunities while staying in that branch itself. So, yeah.
And one of the the most what should I call it? I should call it a myth that once you crack IIT, you don't need to study.
Yeah.
We heard it a lot during our coaching time.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that? Like, what mindset should students have?
See, what I feel is that I feel for the students, because after going through the grueling 2 years, for some people maybe slightly more, you are in a campus, you're a free bird, right? You are away from the shackles of parents, society and everything. You're a free bird. But I think you should always keep your mental compass pointing towards the right direction. You should know what you came for here. So a bit of relaxing, a bit of fun, it's fine. It's bound to happen. We did it when we were kids, when we were students as well. But you should always have that why you came here for. I think that's very important to realize. And what I have seen is that a lot of the performance in a course or in a branch, even if you, after going back to your hostels, it maybe it's difficult to study. I know it's hard to study, right? Because you have many other things going on and so on. But what I have seen that some students are very smart. What they do is that they come to classes very regularly. No matter what, they come to classes. And a lot of the learning happens there. See, once the students who have come to IITs, they are smart. There is no ambiguity, no two ways about it, right? So once you attend the lectures regularly, you listen to that. Later, it's not reinventing the wheel or relearning something, because you have something in your subconscious that this is the concept behind that. And then you go and follow up on that.
In fact, sir, I have experienced this, because during online lectures, I don't used to have that much interest to go and join live.
Right.
Like many of my other friends, I used to just join and then I used to don't watch it. I used to watch the recorded lecture. But what happens in recorded lectures that sometimes we have doubt. We couldn't ask it at the instant.
It's hard.
But in offline, I had so much interest. So for this semester, my attendance was nearly 95%, and I have seen in my result that I got a jump. So it's very important to attend the classes.
It is correlated, and what I usually do after every semester, I usually have a plot of the marks. Versus, so one axis is the marks, the y-axis, and the x-axis is the number of classes attended, and they are almost always so well correlated.
Okay.
You get to see that if you have not really attended, you don't get to score that well.
So attending classes is the most important thing. Just keep it in your mind.
I feel that is very important. Whether, because after going back, because the thing is that how the whole ball game has changed. 10 years back, a student who was in an engineering college had a lot less number of involvements, lot less number of things to participate in than they are right now. Right? And I think several of these events, they shape you, but then at the same time, it is not a correct thing to get completely flowed away with them by neglecting some of the academics. You have to remember why you came here for. And I think the best way to keep reminding yourself that is to attend the lectures and to learn what you are doing, and then later you go and get about your
So, to summarize this, I would like to tell you guys, just attend the classes, because that's the one sole reason you have came here. So just attend the classes. The next question is, how important it is for students to do internships or work on industry projects while in the college?
It's important. It is important because a lot of the things it stays within the knowledge of the books. And then you don't really get to see what's really happening in the field. And trust me, there is a huge gap between what is a very ideal situation for you to, when you make a mistake on paper, you can pick up an eraser and you can erase it and rework it. Whereas if in the field you have done something, you don't really get a chance to correct it. and then what you have to do is that you have to find your ways around it to correct the problem or work with the problem and make it a part of your life.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the industry projects, internships are quite important. But then, I mean, internships, industry projects, they can go two ways. For example, I have seen some students, they're always very academically inclined. They really don't have the intent of working in the field, right? And it's fine. You want to stay in an idealized world, more power to you. If you really want to do it, that's great, right? So some students, they take up internships and industry projects which are in the academia. So they work with different faculty members. They go to other IITs, to IISc Bangalore, or to several universities abroad as well. Whereas there are some students that I know of who say, hey, so this is what I learned in the book, and I really want to go into the field and see how that is done, right? So they choose to do that. And either is perfectly fine as long as they are learning something. That's what I feel.
Okay, good. Coming to our civil department, can you tell us any interesting research project in the civil engineering right now at IIT Bombay?
There are many. There are many. I think all the faculty members, they are working on some research project or the other. And as civil engineering, it has many different disciplines and branches, right? You have structural engineering, you have water resource, you have remote sensing, ocean engineering, geotechnical engineering, remote sensing. So in all of these, there are many interesting projects which are going on. And as I said, I gave you an example of biomechanics. We have a faculty here who works on biomechanics. You have people working on structural control, how you control the vibrations of structures under wind-induced loading or earthquake-induced loading. Then you have very interesting projects which are going on, say, in geotechnical earthquake engineering, right? How when an earthquake happens, how the building foundations behave. You have a very strong group here, which is at the conjunction between civil and climate science. We have shared faculty members who are working on the impact of climate change, right? And a lot of these topics, a lot of these subjects, people are implementing concepts of data mining, machine learning, and so on. We have several faculty members of the civil department who are also associate faculty members of the C-Minds group, right? So even if they are not, there are several people who are actually actively working on applications of machine learning algorithms in civil engineering problems, which is splendid, I think. And that is what I was telling you, that research departments, the lines in between different departments, which used to be like walls at some point in history, now they have just become very fine lines. There is so much interdisciplinary research which is going on. And I think one of the very fascinating things we have at IIT Bombay, and probably other IITs have it as well, is that IDDDP, interdisciplinary dual degree program, right? That's the perfect opportunity you get, that you do 3 years of civil engineering, then you also get to explore something else where you can apply some of the concepts you have learned here in that. So that's how fine the lines have become, and for a good reason. That's for a good reason that you get to explore many different things.
Okay. So now, as you mentioned, there are research project with professors, and most of the time students are involved in the project. So to this, how can students build relationship with professors and alumni so that they could go and ask professors for some projects or any opportunities? Like, how should someone completely new to a college should build relationships with professors?
I mean, I will give you my frank opinion. I think a lot of students, they feel comfortable in approaching a professor with whom they have taken a course. So I think the outlook also matters. Like, you have taken, suppose you spent a semester worth with someone teaching you, right? And then you want to do some project on something, but maybe that professor doesn't work on that. For example, I used to teach a course on structural design, but I don't work on structural design. In my research, I don't work on. So if a student came and said that hey, I liked taking this course and I would like to learn more about the design, I said, sorry, I'm not the right person for it, but I can redirect you to someone who works on that. So you may approach him or her for that. And like that, what has happened is that several students have gotten that opportunity. I have had several, splendid undergraduate students working on research problems with me. Some working with my PhD students.
Oh.
Those kids, they have gone to do great in their lives. So that's a different discussion altogether. But there are opportunities, and then if some faculty member is not working on a topic that you are interested in, then I think the faculty member almost always redirects them to the person who is working on that. And I think the message which I'm trying to get across is that everybody is approachable. Yeah. Right? It's not like if you have not talked to a faculty member, you cannot go and talk to them. Everyone is approachable, so students should make that effort to go and talk.
Yeah.
Hey, at the most you will get a no,
yeah.
right? You won't get anything harsher than that, right? So why not take a chance?
Yeah. So the next question is now parents have a perspective that the only good branch is CSE, like you can get a decent placements through CSE only.
Yeah.
So this has grown a lot. In fact, my parent also feels the same way.
Yeah.
So what are the career opportunities in civil department, and how far we can get in civil?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think before I go ahead and answer your question on the different opportunities within civil, I mean, what I would like to say that everything comes and goes in waves.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in my undergraduate, there at times civil engineering, mechanical engineering, I mean, the infrastructure was booming in the country. So that's the thing to be. You have to become a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer. There has been times where chemical engineers were highly sought after. I think now it's the digital age which has come, and a lot of data is available now. So computer science and data science and so on is becoming more and more popular. So it goes and comes in waves. So let's just first accept and acknowledge that fact that something which is really popular today may not be popular tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I think one important thing is not to get swayed by this wave and let the student, someone's son, someone's daughter, be a judge of what they like and what they want. And then coming to civil engineering, there are lots of great opportunities. I think a lot of things play a role in this, Rushi. To answer your question very frankly, I think one very important thing is the pay, right? That's a very important thing. And what I have seen, and I can only quote what I have heard because I don't know the exact details, is that some of the core jobs, whether civil or some other engineering departments, is that when people get into software or some of the soft skills related, and it's more power to them. If they want, they always wanted to do it, that's fine. But I think a lot of the complaint is that their pay is here and the core jobs, the pay is here, which is a problem, which I acknowledge. And I think there are active efforts being made by several faculty members who also work hand in hand with the industry to make them aware of this problem. And they are aware that a lot of the good students, they sometimes choose to go into another branch rather than pursuing with their core. But at the same time, what I want to tell you that decision is very premature. Why? Because right after your bachelor's, suppose if you are getting a job which is a non-core job, and if your sole intention or the sole reason is the pay, what usually happens is that you may start here and the core job for, say, your friend who graduated and took up a core job is here. What eventually happens is after a few years, so they match, and this one then goes higher, right? So, and in that, what I feel good about that is that in that you are actually getting to use that 4 years of what you learned, right? And then make some progress on that. So no time is really wasted on that, I feel. But if you ended up not liking your branch, not liking the subjects, and you feel that this was your calling, you really wanted to work on some soft skill jobs or some finance jobs, some software jobs, then it's perfect. It's for you. You're happy. Some students want to do MBA. Perfect. I have several undergraduate students who have done splendid in my some of my courses, and of course I'm selfish, so I will try to encourage them more that why don't you go for some higher studies and everything. And they say, sir, I enjoyed the course, I enjoy civil engineering courses, I enjoy structural engineering courses of some of the other faculty members also I have taken here, but I really want to do an MBA.
Okay.
And you can't pull someone from that, and you shouldn't also. If somebody really wants to do that, and whether after doing that person enjoys it or not, that's a different story altogether. But if somebody is really interested in something which is away from core, perfectly fine, go ahead and do it. The world has different flavors to give you. Taste them and see which one suits you best, I think. Also, one thing in civil engineering, what I would say is that there is a lot of opportunity for future studies, for higher studies. And I particularly encourage people that who found the passion within the branch. And this just doesn't apply to civil engineering, both mechanical, aerospace, electrical, computers, and all the branches. If you ended up liking your branch, there are great opportunities for future studies. Many of our students have done their master's, PhDs, say both from India as well as from abroad, and they have gone on to do really great things. So pursue what you like, I think.
What I have heard is that into core you need to have patience. I don't know it's true or not, but you need to have some patience so that you could match the other paying jobs. Is it true or not? I don't know the exact.
See, I think if you see, Rushi, I'll tell you something. If you care for something, for example, a plant, maintaining a plant requires patience. But if you care about the plant, if you like that plant, you will put in that patience. Right? Things you like are things you care for. You put in the patience for that. So if you ended up liking any of your core branches, you would put in the patience to and it's like if you really enjoy a dish, the best way to enjoy a dish is not to gobble it down. You have to take it in small spoons. So you take the patience and you savor it. So maybe we replace the word patience by savoring that particular branch a little more. So maybe let's think of it that way, perhaps.
Okay. Now let's have some college life based questions, like how can students balance their academics and extracurricular activities in college?
Right. So one thing I already said, that attending classes, that goes a long way to make sure that you are academically somewhere, you are academically sound, and then you follow it up with studying on your own, by studying in groups, by approaching faculty members for more number of problems that you have to do, and so on. Extracurriculars are always going to be there, but what I feel is that you should not get completely swayed away by that. You should do it. It will help you. It will help shape you, right? It will help shape you. Just being a bookworm and not interacting with anyone doesn't shape you as a person, right? So it will shape you that way. But all the same is that you should know what you came here for. That's I think the most important thing. And keeping that as a priority, you work your life around it. That's what is important.
But there is always, like, some students are completely into extracurriculars and some students are completely into academics. In fact, what happened with myself was again the same thing. As it was online, so I wasn't interested to join any clubs or something. So eventually what happened, I missed so many things. Like I didn't have the proper friend groups or the fun they used to have, so I missed it. So like there are both of the things, so you shouldn't be completely into what, this is my opinion.
No, you're right. And also I think one thing is that students, I often see that they have this notion that they have to do everything. You need not do everything, like you should know that this is my limit. I'm happy with this much amount of extracurricular, I'm happy with my studies, this much amount of extracurricular is fine. Because at the end of the day, the 5 fingers in your hand, they are not of the same height, and not 5 students are not at the the same how should I put it, the same level of interest. It's just not going to be there, right? But then you should not try to become another person. Let me put it that way. You should not try to become someone else. You are not. Just that somebody else is doing something, maybe that thing gives him or her that happiness, satisfaction.
Yeah, sir.
But you may not be that, and you probably know that, I wouldn't be really happy doing it, but just because somebody else is doing it, you should not feel pressured to do the same.
Yeah.
Right? So
because I
think,
have seen many incidences like people get into peer pressure and do something
yeah,
which they are
yeah.
not.
Peer
meant to
pressure is I think a big problem. Peer pressure is a big problem. But Rushi, I mean, it's a tender age. You need to do the wrong to know the
do.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So mistakes happen.
Because even though like many people will tell us like don't do this and all
Yeah,
that,
you will
but
do it.
unless we go
You
through
have
ourselves through it,
to walk the walk. Unless you walk the walk, and then you feel that it was really not right for
Yeah.
you. But that is important to figure out that it's not right. It's that it's not probably making me grow as a person.
yeah.
Once you figure that part out, and that level of maturity, I think, comes from talking to your peers, from introspecting. I think that's important. Yeah.
So what are the three most important things that an undergrad student must have in his or her bucket list before graduating from IIT Bombay?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think
Before going ahead, let me tell you mine
Yeah.
bucket list. That mine was to make a video with you, and I have done it. I'm so happy for it.
well, I'm glad to hear it. I think number one, make friends, good friends. Undergraduate friends, they last a lifetime.
Yeah.
They last a lifetime, because I'll tell you why. Because when you're in school, you're too young. When you graduate and you get into the professional world, that's a different kind of friendship. And I think after a certain age in your life, you don't make friends anymore. You only make acquaintances, right?
Yeah,
People
yeah.
you go out for lunch with, dinners with, but
Yeah,
you won't be really friends with them.
Yeah.
So this is the time you make good friends, and the friends that you make in your undergrad, lasts a lifetime. Make good memories with your friends, with your department. Participate in as many departmental activities as you can. Be good in your classes. Because even if after, and this is probably the third point, that after you do your 4 years of engineering, suppose you choose to do something else and you're happy with it. I am happy that you're happy with it. But 20 years down the line, if somebody, for example, suppose you're a mechanical engineer, somebody points at a problem where you need to think not as a layman, but what you had studied 20 years ago, I think you should at least have that skill set built with you these 4 years, that you should look at the eyes, you should look at the world from the eyes of the engineer. Yeah? That's very important. That's what I try to encourage my students as well. Right? A lot of engineering is that. It's just practical science.
Yeah.
It's just that what a layman who has not taken engineering can't say, at least you can make an informed guess about the problem.
Yeah.
So these are the three things I believe you. Yeah.
Okay. When new students join IIT, due to some various reasons, students start getting into FOMO, fear of missing out.
Right.
There is always academic pressure with it, and
Yeah.
due to this, what happens is there is a lot of stress, and they go into a mental health problems.
Yeah.
So how should someone tackle this?
This is a very genuine problem that you have brought it out. I think that one of the first things is that what we follow here in IIT Bombay and other colleges too is that you have a faculty advisor, and to whom you can come with your academic problems if you are, if you feel a course is really not working for you. So first point of contact should always be the faculties who are directly teaching you, right? Then you have your faculty advisor who maybe can direct you that whether you should take a particular elective or you don't take a particular elective, and so on. And then we have a fantastic student wellness center, and they should really go ahead and reach out if they feel that it's all getting too much.
Yeah.
And this phase happens in everyone's life. At some point in time, you feel that things are slipping out of hand.
Yeah.
Right? And what I really want to encourage students is that there is no shame in asking for help. Whether you ask for help to your friend, to faculty, to your faculty advisor, or to someone from the student wellness center, to your parents, there is no shame in asking for help, right? So they should keep that in mind with their friends or somewhere. They should always reach out and not keep things in a container within them, that one day it becomes too much to bear, and your academics suffer, your other things suffer. So as early as you can, try and talk to someone, good friends, and that's why I said making good friends is very important. Friends who have similar principles as you, it's very important, and you figure that out as well. You will see, Rushi, that the friends you make in your first year are different than the friends you make in your final. It's very different, and you evolve. You evolve. You get to mix with different kinds of people. Everybody evolves. So I think having a good friend circle, talking to the faculty members, talking to the head of the department, the faculty advisors, the student wellness center, I think all of these go a long way to take that edge off that mental stress that is there. Because everybody is there. I think the IIT Bombay as a whole provides a very holistic environment, very nurturing environment, and I think students should make most use of this.
Exactly, because there will be some days where you will be feeling nervous, sad. There will be, definitely, because all your days won't be the good ones.
Won't be the same. And you need bad days to tell the good days. You need good days to tell the bad days from. But it should never reach a point that you get too overwhelmed with it. When you feel you're too overwhelmed, reach out. That's what.
Just reach out, because here we have fantastic facilities, as sir mentioned. You just need to go and ask for help. That is what I can say. Many of parents may be watching the video. So what are your advices for them? Because I have seen parents sometimes have a lot of expectations from their child. So
right. And it's natural. It's natural to have a lot of, because they have made it to the topmost engineering colleges in the country, right? Whether we talk about IIT Bombay or any other IITs, so expectations are natural. But at the same time, I think they should also acknowledge that that their son or daughter has gone into a new environment, so it takes a little while to adjust. But I think it's also important to do a regular follow-up, that how the academic performance is going on. So not completely hands-off, little bit of hands-on, a little bit of hands-off, a little bit of hands-on. So that you're not making 100% of your child's decision by yourself, but you are there to guide whenever there is a wrong step forward, right? So it's like that. It has to be a nurturing kind of a thing. That's what I feel.
I guess that's enough for today. I would like to thank you so much, Professor Ghosh, that you honored our platform by accepting the invite. Thanks a lot. In fact, I will recommend you to visit Professor's channel. He has uploaded amazing videos on the solid mechanics. You should definitely check it out. All your doubts would be cleared. And in fact, if you comment something, he will make a video on that topic too. So just check it out. And thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so much.
Rushi. Yeah, I'm glad it was a nice conversation. I was happy to talk to you. I hope I could answer some of the questions. And whoever are the aspirants here, I welcome you to IIT Bombay as and when you will be here. And I look forward to seeing some of you in my lectures and classes as well. Thanks a lot.
And if you are joining civil department and if you are learning under him, I will tell you that you are one of the luckiest students from IIT Bombay, because
Rushi is too kind.
No, sir. It's genuine. I'm genuinely saying this because you are one of the best faculty I have got here.
I'm happy to hear that.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Rushi. Yes.